Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. We've been privileged to witness an absolute masterclass of an innings, 157 of 129 balls by Virat Kohli as India reached 321 for 6. An amazing score. With me to discuss this, we have Ajay, Jadeja and Zaheer Khan. Ajay, normal everyone will look at it and say, they got 320 in the last match, we got 320, but would you say these pitches were similar?
Oh, nowhere close to each other. They were chalk and cheese, and I think this was more chalk and that was cheese.
Absolutely. So, masterclass, what would you say? What are the, I have shorter words. I can't say anything because seeing that innings is absolutely spectacular. What do you have to say about it?
See, if you are short of words, people like us, so English mein haath waise bhi tang hai, where will we find words? All I can say is take a bow. I mean, this man is special. He's shown it from day one. I think one is about cricket that everybody sees. But I think if you had to see deeper into this man, why is he so special? There'll be technique, there'll be other things. Just go back to when he was a 16 or 18-year-old young boy, wanting to play cricket for India or wanting to do whatever. One morning he wakes up and he's been told that he's lost his father. He's batting overnight in a Ranji Trophy game, which is not the end of the world. But that boy at that time has the courage and has the focus on a day like that to go into a cricket ground, finish that game, win the game for his own team, then come back and do all the rights at the end of that day. So he's shown you from that day how focused can he be and how badly he wants to play cricket. I lost my father. It's taken me many years. I've still not come out of it. So this man and anybody who's lost their father would understand that, what impact that could make. And that impact, that incident had no impact on him on that particular day. He still went out, did his job, scored those runs and came back. So that's how special this man is. When he had not even played for India. And since he's played for India, he's just shown you. He's just improved on day to day. Look at those gals. They're no more like mine. These are important things. Technique, of course, everybody watches and we've been seeing him. But these are things that differentiates him from everybody else that I've come across.
Yeah, that match he drew for Delhi, saved for Delhi, was an amazing. Zach, you've been with him for a very long time in the Indian dressing room. What was he like? And has he changed over the years?
Well, I think he has. That's something which has been hallmark of Virat's career. I think he has always been raising that bar. He's always been pushing that bar higher and higher, and he just wants to add things all the time. I think at this level we all talk about how difficult it is to be consistent. And everyone talks about we should achieve the consistency at this level, and it takes a lot to achieve that consistency. But I think Virat is getting consistent in achieving that consistency. So that is something which is the zenith of consistency, and that's what Virat Kohli is for all of us. He's always been setting that example, and he's not going to stop. Every time you meet him, there is something new which he's talking about, that okay, I'm trying this new thing. I'm adding this. Be it his diet, be it how he's approaching the game, and he's someone who I can proudly say that when I have seen him for the first time, and the kind of batting he was doing, right, and the kind of technical flaws also as a bowler I was looking at, that okay, I can bowl a bouncer at him, I can bowl a ball which is coming back into him, which his front foot used to go way across the off stump, and then he would get out leg before wickets. And to what he is right now, he's just so good with understanding that what can limit him, and how he can just free himself from all the limitations. And I think he's on this journey of just freedom from all the limitations. If you tell him that okay, this can limit you, he will say okay, fine, I'll find a way of going beyond that. And that's something which none of us have seen in many of the greats. The greats in different eras has always been setting an example for others. And he has a great example of Sachin Tendulkar in terms of the kind of numbers which has built it, and something which he always has that as a target, which he's chasing. But the way he's approaching that, is something special. I think someone like Sachin also will be so proud just looking at him, the way he's going about his business.
In fact, we have a graphic just to illustrate that consistency. For reaching 10,000 runs, and the great players, how have they reached 10,000 runs? Take a look at this. And this is a really special club. Rahul Dravid took 287. Brian Lara took just 278. Dhoni 273, and that's great from a number 6 batsman. Jacques Kallis 272. Ricky Ponting 266, another great of the game. And Sourav Ganguly 263, great knock there. Sachin Tendulkar 259. Now this is really rarefied territory. 205. Can you believe that's 54 places, 54 matches, 54 innings less than the last guy. So what do you have to say? I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, that stat?
I think someone was just mentioning right now, our producer was mentioning that, he's taken 11 innings to achieve 1,000 runs in this calendar year, and that's something which again, it's talking about consistency.
Quickest
and also, like, you can't really compare the eras, but like the point which I was trying to make is basically every generation will have leaders. So in that Sachin's generation also, he was miles ahead of everyone, and that's what Virat is in today's modern day cricket, and that's something which is the similarity in Sachin and him. And the numbers are, I think, it's just a process of what the routines you have, what kind of achievements you are able to get day in day out, match after match. So that's something which is a different kind of debate, different kind of discussion. But I think, to me, he's right now in world cricket leading by example. He's an inspiration. And any adjectives and superlatives you try to find, he's just making sure that each and every individual has to work that hard to express what he is actually able to achieve, and the sheer tenacity. I think tenacity is another adjective which I feel goes very well with Virat, because it's not something what he's doing on the field. It's something which goes in the background. It's something which goes in the preparation. It's something which goes with the state of mind. To achieve that state of mind and stay in that zone, I think it's the toughest thing, and looks like he's just getting control over all those things in a manner which is far beyond our imagination. How he's able to achieve that.
It's a day for Virat stats. So we have another one for you coming up. This one is Virat in 2018, and it's equally astonishing. Take a look at this. That's him in 2018. 112, 46, 160, 75, 36, 129, 75, 45. He hasn't had a failure. His lowest innings here is, I think, 36. Ajay.
When we look at that numbers and you want to see what is special about him, is that it shows you one thing for sure, that he has no trouble starting off. Because out of 10 innings or 11, which is a very small sample, so he's got a very solid defense. He knows how to start an innings. He knows how to finish it now when you look at those other numbers. So he's a special man, like he says. And I think he's special not with, I agree more with Zach. It's not his game. It's not just the skill that you see or certain ability that he has, because we talk of talent. Talent, one is all we look at is the physical talent. I think his talent is more mental. And I think it's the mind over, everything else that he rules with everybody else.
Zach, you'd once mentioned that, in that dressing room, in the RCB dressing room,
right,
he was actually, even while he was a top level player, he was still learning, still adapting. There was a time when AB de Villiers helped him with a particular stroke. Did that happen?
Yes, I mean, see, with the international cricket, the more time you spend, more discussions you do, it's going to benefit you more and more. And that's something which I'd seen that, in terms of the technical flaws which I was talking about earlier, which basically he has overcome. One of them was short ball as well, and that's something which I'd seen him spend time with AB discussing on how to get in the position and what is the best kind of position to be able to play that pull shot and hook shot consistently. So that's something which he has learned there. But when you look at Virat Kohli, most of the time, when he started his career, you wouldn't have thought that, okay, this man is going to go on to achieve this much. And it's just his ability to learn, his ability to adapt things and keep adding to his game has something kept that graph going higher and higher, and I think very soon you'll see that very steep curve going up the way he's going about his game.
One more Virat stat for you, because this is the day that he's done everything. This is Virat in Vizag. If 2018 wasn't good enough, take a look at this record in Vizag. 118, 117, 99, 65, 167 and 81 in test match, 157 out here. they've probably not seen him any time in the dressing room at all. He hasn't spent any time out there. He seems to spend all his time in the middle.
Yeah, he'll have no idea what Vizag dressing room looks like, because he must have walked in early. Generally, the wickets are pretty good. I mean, when you look at that, you'd say, oh, wickets are very good in Vizag.
But so today wasn't, right?
Today was like one of the worst wickets that you've seen in Vizag for years. So that also he shows that it's not just the wicket, it's not just the opposition. It has nothing to do with anybody else. I think when you assess Virat Kohli or somebody is looking at his career or his game or his technique, you have to look at what Virat Kohli is wanting to do at that particular day or time. One of the things that if I could just add is, I think he's one of those fortunate few who has a great ego, but he knows how to keep that ego behind. Looking at his batting over the years, if you see, like he said, there was a certain problem at a certain time. So he would call up Sachin Tendulkar after an England tour. Straight from England, he goes to Sachin Tendulkar, has a word with him. So no ego from the player that he's chasing, ready to learn there. While he's batting, if he's struggling with some ball, like a short ball he mentioned, he's not going to fight it. He's trying to figure out how to do it, but it's not that he comes out and says, okay, now I'll smash that short ball and show you. At the end of the day, all he wants is that 100, 200, whatever number,
the thirst
not out.
For runs.
Thirst for not out. Out, he hates I mean, everybody hates getting out, but this man hates it even more than everybody else. He works towards it. So I think he is capable of showing that he is a man with ego, and you can see that. But I think his strength is that he leaves that ego behind when it comes to how do I get runs. If I have to get runs and I have to give up some of my ego, he will do that. But he will keep that whole front.
It's a lovely, lovely thought. And just to understand how good was this innings, let's take a look at the Indian batting card, because that will give you a sense of what the other batsmen did in the very same pitch. Look at that. Virat Kohli 157 or 129. Raidu played a great innings, but other than that, Shikhar Dhawan, Dhoni, everybody else seemed to struggle on this pitch. Raidu to a certain extent, but Virat looked a different batsman. Today, was it tough being Raidu? I mean, just being there, being the second man. How easy is it? I mean, nobody will remember Raidu. They'll say, it's Virat, but he played a valuable knock today.
That partnership was very crucial. And you can't just do it alone. That's what cricket teaches us. It's a team sport, so you do need the help from the other end. Be it bowling or batting. And in bowling also, you talk about fast bowlers hunt in pairs. Here also, that partnership was very crucial, because that shows it wasn't a 320 wicket, and they achieved that only because of this partnership, because they needed that kind of platform, especially when you have Rohit Sharma back in the dressing room and Shikhar Dhawan also back in the dressing room. Two of your most
successful batsmen.
So that partnership was very, very crucial.
And it's what did Raidu do which was different? What did he do that was different from the other batsmen? Obviously, let's leave Virat aside for a while. What did he do?
First, to start with, when he walked in, the stage was set for a certain kind of play, which suits Ambati Raidu, and you didn't have a total that you were working towards. You were playing with Virat Kohli, who's the leading run scorer in the world, so there's no pressure of how you want to go about. And Raidu is one of those players. His numbers show you that, not just today, which is, strike rate of 91 and he, 70. His, average is 50 over his career. So what that tells you is that he's a man, once he gets in, he likes to, see, when he gets an opportunity, he grabs it with both hands. So he had that period of time from that 10th over till the 40th over where you weren't looking at a total. No team is looking at a total at that stage. At that stage, you only want to consolidate. And when you have Virat Kohli at the other end, the opposition is thinking about what to do with Virat Kohli, because he's manipulating them everywhere. And Raidu plays spin very well, which worked absolutely perfect for him. And Virat is not probably as good as against spin as he's against pace. So as a combination, that worked, and it helped. It can never be a disadvantage playing with Virat Kohli. It can only be an advantage, because any player who plays with any great of that period, that person has only an advantage. If you are trying to compete with him,
then you're in trouble.
No, then you better be as good as him. A lot of people struggle. Even some greats in the past, when they've tried to compete with the great of that time, they have struggled. Then what you try and do is try and go outside your limitation. The most important thing in batting or in bowling also is to understand what is your limitation. And I think Raidu, with his experience, understands that pretty well.
Oh, fantastic. Now you're West Indian, you're saying, we've finally got a decent pitch which supported us, and they've gone and made 320. What do they do from here?
Well, like I said earlier, this 320 is
you were saying 230 is a winning total.
Game, set, match India. It's like that.
Yeah,
so 320 is gone beyond West Indies' reach, because the wicket is also turning quite a bit. So someone has to carry the innings. Like you've seen, Virat Kohli had carried the innings for the Indian side to get to 320. And that's something which so far from West Indian side, we've not seen anyone having that kind of approach to the game. You know, they will look to play the shots, and this is not the kind of wickets where it is going to pay you dividends if you're just continuing to play your shots, and that tells me that, and probably, you know, most of the viewers as well, they're pretty much aware of the fact that India is going to finish the match. It's just that when they're going to finish the match is the question.
That's the batting order. They bat till about 7. Holder would be the last decent bat. Ashley Nurse can bat a bit, but you know, then you have 3 genuine tailenders. Who do you see? I mean, if you look at that lineup, who do you see, you know, has a chance of making a dent out here? Hetmeyer, he's had a really good knock, but Kuldeep's back in the...
Yeah, I'm with you on the thing, the Hetmeyer, but looking at the wicket and the total, if somebody makes a dent, it has to be Powell at the top, because it'll be easiest when the ball is new and it's hard, it'll still come onto the bat. So you probably will get away with it and it will be easier. And when the ball gets 15, 20 overs old, then for Hetmeyer to do it, we've seen him get almost 100 last game, play very well. But I think this is a different situation. 322 is way...
So if you're looking to win it, let me get this right. You're going to go and tell your top 3 batsmen to say, go for it. Try and get 110, because otherwise there's no chance.
And hope dew is a factor. And I think if dew is a factor, the ball is not turning much, then a lot has to go Wendy's way for them to win this match.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I'd much rather say, you know, plan the guy who's going to carry the drinks to the beach tonight, because you'd probably feel more at home there, because West Indies, I have no doubt that they will not even come close to this total.
So far, as I said, Ajay's been getting everything right. He said
I just watch and observe, that's all. I am not a predictor. I won't be sitting here then.
You are sitting here for many reasons, Ajay Jadeja, which we shall talk about some other time. But mostly for your
most important
analysis.
Being your fan. That is why I'm here.
No, the most important part of it, by the way, I have to tell you that there's a certain situation out here. Ajay has started what is known as the Great Kurta Revolt. Okay. So he's basically said that why can't we wear kurtas in the show?
Yeah,
after all, kurtas are formal Indian
I think
dress.
we should do a poll.
So a poll is happening. We'll probably do a poll probably in the last part of the innings when we come back to wrap up the match. We'll do a poll, and Ajay, you will get justice from us.
No, I think it's not for us to decide. We'll put 2 pictures, one with coat and jacket or same person, and one with kurta. Let people say which is more comfortable for them to watch. For us, at least, it'll be, because this makes you a little stiff, makes you all correct.
Tell you, when you bring Ajay Jadeja in, you get cricket, you get analysis, and you get the Great Kurta Revolt. Final prediction, of course, we've already done it, but once again, game, set and match India?
Oh yeah. We got to start thinking about the next match.
Start thinking about the next match, he says.
Let's see. I would say 60 runs at least you win by.
Okay, lovely. Margin of victory, 60 runs. Let's make it exciting.
You know, when you play golf, you learn these things.
For Wendy's to have any chance in this match, there are 2-3 things have to go their way, and one of them, one person needs to bat through. You know, one needs to get a big 100. That's the key. If someone is going to play shots around that player, that is fine, and that's something. And another thing is dew. If the dew is a factor, then the chances might get better. But chances of that happening is also very slim.
No, dew I can go with. So if it's a lot of dew, like he's saying, then maybe 30 runs. Okay. But no chance of them winning.
This is a very, very qualified answer. 30 if you have dew, 60 if you don't have dew, a century century, somebody will get it. But we'll be back in the 15th over with Uber presents Cricbuzz Combox and tell you what is happening and whether they do or not, and who's finally correct about all this. Till then, see you.